the trash cans every week. Oh, I got stuff. Yeah.
I've got a trash bag I put in my closet, I filled out with stuff.
All right.
I don't look at it after, and I
We
take
look
it
like
to
we're
the-
live.
I make myself get rid of it.
Exactly. I got 2 big bags of clothes right now. I got so many computers that I've had for years.
We have
that-
3 transformers here.
Well, you can go to,
Free.
that
Free.
computer down the
Free.
street.
Free.
in Wyoming.
Free
Free.
transformers.
Free.
Steve's wife,
In the back
ex-wife
there.
works, they'll take it.
No, you talking about the one off of,
Mike, free transformer?
Yeah.
No, I figured you would,
Yeah,
no,
you
no,
can
no.
take that stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
got
do,
so
that's
many
where, that's actually
transformers.
where I go, yeah.
You don't wanna
be
throw that.
anti-pack rat
You feel
myself.
better
You
about
know,
that.
you can
No, no,
sell-
no, no,
you can
no,
sell it
no, I do
and
not.
buy a computer.
I don't need
When I
it.
was working
No.
before,
Go away, go away.
Something comes in the house, something has to leave.
I wouldn't do it, so I take.
Is that the?
Yeah.
Because
I have the house.
It just
full-
goes
full of
around
stuff.
in
I can't
circles.
see throwing that in the
That's-
landfill.
That should be the new door prize. Whoever shows up late gets it.
No, we wanna encourage late behavior, we don't wanna get to that. Give them the transformer.
It's a good coaster.
Throw it out the dumpster.
I don't even throw my
That's both about the same,
bottles
actually.
away. I put them in a bag and I go down to Matthew 25 Ministries. I give them, because they use it to
I
fill.
could use it for a
medicine
spark generator,
for like
maybe.
80 or something like that.
Yeah.
Trigger that primary, put 9 volts across the primary or something, spark it.
That plastic goes into the landfill 400 years later, and then you.
When I was a wee one, I put a transformer in a can. I told my buddies it was a Morse code transmitter, so I'd hand them a transistor radio,
There's no oxygen to it.
and I'd hand them the can, and I'd go, okay, now, you tap on that button a couple of times, and I'll hear if I can hear you click. And they got that little spike when they would let go of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, the project would drop on the ground, and so they'd piece it back together, but, you know. Then it's like, okay, who can you do it to now? Don't be mad at me. Sure.
Wow, that's,
But in the back of your mind, as you arrange this, you say, I'm keeping this crap and I'm never gonna use it, but you can't get rid of it.
yeah.
Okay, Leroy, you ready to go? Or probably, Vicente's ready to go if you,
No,
no, you're not ready to go
I
yet?
need to
Mine's easy.
connect everything.
You ready? Okay.
Mine's easy. I think mine's easy. All right. So my demo this week is for the Crouton. MQTT dashboard. And let me see if I can actually cast.
Let me turn mine off, because sometimes it's unfriendly.
All right. So this is the dashboard, or the Crouton website, and I used this last week, but I don't really think I explained it real well what it was doing. So I'm connecting to a public broker through their WebSocket interface. The dashboard itself, I've already connected to the broker, and we're going to use the Crouton device name of Relay 1 LFM1, which is my initials, and it just makes it unique to try to keep other people from turning on and off my thing. The dashboard, as you can see, is blank right now. D1 Mini again. I put a push button on it and a relay. The push button will actually let you take like local control, so you could turn on and off the relay. So if this was a light switch or something, you still would be able to turn it on without using an app. I probably gotta get it connected to the library again, probably. Let's see. Yes. Just give me a second, let me connect it to the library. And as soon as it connects, you'll notice that two buttons show up. One is an actual button, which would be a push button, and one will be a status indicator to tell you whether or not the relay is on or not. So let me connect to the library, configure Wi-Fi, public, save, reboot, and as soon as this happens, it should just come right out. There it is, connected, woohoo! It actually worked, it actually did what it was supposed to do.
So you're on a Crouton app?
No, well, yes, sort of. Crouton is a web dashboard that takes JSON strings from your device, from your physical devices, to create these buttons. So that basically the dashboard itself contains nothing until the device connects and tells it what to actually display. So I hold it from this app, from the ESP8266, I told it I want a push button, I want a status for my thing, and what's going to happen, you'll hear the relay when I click. It just told me it's on, and I don't know if you heard it or not, but I heard it. I heard it.
So what'd you do with your phone then? Buy your
Oh,
log
that
for
was,
slides.
I'm running the the Wi-Fi manager on this device to make it easy to connect to other things, instead of programming it for one spot.
Oh, okay.
That's all I did with the phone.
Configure the net and the password.
Yeah, that's it. So if we click my button here, clicked it off, it just, now I can look right at my dashboard and I can say, oh, whatever I wanted to control is actually not being used. Now, something that I did, cast, no cast devices, of course not. No, that's because you're not connected to, so, when Crouton first starts, when the device first starts up, it automatically sends all the information to create the dashboard. So that it's running right now, and what I've done is I've told it to every 5 seconds, every so often, to go ahead and resend the dashboard information. That way I can connect to it with a different device. Connection timeout. Connection timeout. Well, there it is. Okay. And you may or may not have seen it popped up and said that it had connected. So I can go ahead with my phone, and now I can do the same thing with my phone.
They are both apps running right now.
Both
of the
both Croutons are running right now. So I can turn it on from my computer. I can turn it on. I can turn it off. And this is the phone that you're seeing. I can do the same thing with the phone. But that's just a website. It's just a web app. So you don't need to install any software or anything else. You just need to connect to the right broker, and
It's in a browser.
just the browser. And you just need to connect to the right broker, and bada bing, bada boom.
Okay, pardon my slowness here. And can I ask you some questions?
Yeah. I'm trying not to, I don't want you to be lost.
Well, that's two. Okay, when you start up that device.
Yes.
You have a wireless router over there?
Yes.
So you are connecting with that to the wireless router?
Actually, I connected to the public portion of the library, not to this router.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with it?
Right.
Okay, so you are using this to connect to the Wi-Fi that's here in the library, and you're using that to go to a site that is called,
Crouton.
and your identification is unique so that nobody turns this devices on.
It's semi-unique, yeah.
Now, I can see on the screen in your phone that both of those were displaying what appears to be the same thing.
Right.
So, how is it that I'm seeing an image on the screen that's on your phone? Okay. I still don't know how I'm seeing it.
Oh. Okay, cause my phone is connected to this router.
All right.
My phone is connected to this router. My Chromebook is connected to this router.
Okay. I'm up to speed.
Okay. But that's actually a good point. I'm physically not connected to the same network. I am from my phone, from my Chromebook, I am connected to a separate network that is connected to the internet. I'm still able to control my device, so I can control it from pretty much anywhere, as long as there's internet access. I don't know if you were here when we did a lot of the MQTT demos. MQTT is a very lightweight protocol used by, originally it was used in the oil field, in the oil from IBM. And it was a very lightweight protocol that would send data
Like
over
LoRa.
over low latency connections that could fail or whatever. It turns out that it was made in like '99, and it turns out that it's almost a perfect protocol for use with IoT.
What does MQTT, what's that? Not that it's the end of the world, it just helps with the
Tell her, I would have to look.
I've heard the acronym, but I don't know what the words
I knew
are.
it until you asked me.
Then you got vapor lock.
But it's simply a
I'm looking it up.
communication protocol.
Yeah.
That says, this is a number of bits and we transmit, and how frequently we do that.
And it's a very simple protocol, and what it is it's a subscriber topic based thing. So when I say I'm connecting to relay, can barely see that. When I say you're connecting to relay 1 LFM1, that is a topic. So I am subscribing to that topic, or I'm publishing to that topic. Crouton also subscribes to this topic and listens for messages that I publish. Or in the case of a button demo, it's publishing. When I click on the relay button on my phone or on the Crouton app, it publishes, and my device is listening for what it's saying. So it's a subscriber publish sort of format.
Crouton is the intermediary between the devices.
No, MQTT is the broker for MQTT is the intermediary. Qton actually just acts like another device that's connected to MQTT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so where's your broker?
My broker is Hive HQ.
Oh, that's a good question, because I assumed that was.
I assume that
Yeah.
the broker.
Yeah, no. Crouton acts like, if we go back over here, let's open this, let's cast this one again.
it's like an interface or Crouton saves data or manage information aside from moving messages.
Crouton actually doesn't save anything, which is one of the drawbacks I see to it, which
It's
is
a front end.
yes,
up
it's
to them and
it's
you
just
use it.
a display kind of platform. It's an easy, because I'm using MQTT to do this, I could actually start publishing with any client
It's
to
like-
turn
it's
the
like
relay on and
home.
off. This is basically a front end to a client. But if you look at the connection page here,
Yep, you did it.
I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger. So, on the connection page, stop it. There it goes. On the connection page, I have attached it to HiveMQ on port 8000, which is the WebSockets port. And right here, where it says Crouton Client 73, that is the quote-unquote unique Crouton device name. So Crouton just acts like a device connected to it. And it just subscribes to the topics that you tell it to subscribe to. You publish it. It actually is, it's really, really simple. You can connect to the secure WebSockets if you want to make it a little more secure. I haven't tried that yet, but you know,
I wonder if you could have a local broker, Frank here, local broker out of the cloud in your garage. Your cloud can be anywhere.
okay.
That's right.
So, where are you trying to show?
I'm just showing you what the resolution looks like.
Yeah. Crouton is open source. It's on GitHub. You can download it. Now, it's a Node.js thing. It looks like it was written for an older version of Node.js, and I tried for 2 weeks to get it to compile on 3 different machines, and I could not get it to compile right. So I went back to using the app or the website that actually works. So I went. It's frustrating because some of the dependencies for Node.js apparently have changed, and some other stuff has apparently changed. So while I think it's possible to do it probably by going back to an old version of Node.js or an old version of NPM or whatever, it was frustrating. So okay.
I know that my questions are almost mine, but bear with me again. So our device there on the table is communicating with broker Hive.
Right.
Okay. And your phone and tablet are communicating with that also. And Crouton is kind of off to the side displaying what's happening at Hive.
Yeah. Yeah. More or less.
So even if you didn't have Crouton going, you could control that through the
Oh, right.
Hive. You just
Right,
wouldn't be
right.
able to see what was happening.
Correct. if any MQTT client, I could use any of them. As long as I've subscribed to the correct topic, I publish to the correct topic, and I'm on the same broker.
You gotta use the correct password.
Right.
And you have the password.
Well, there is, for mine, there is no password, but yes.
Make it easier, okay?
In fact, the top, that when I click on the button to send, this device actually it receives that topic, that published topic, which actually just says true, but in reality, anything I publish to that particular topic will trigger that relay to either turn on or off.
Okay.
So the status is coming from here, is publishing a status, and this is Crouton is displaying the status. It's a separate topic. Just the topic is simply called status, and now that is actually a real display, and this says on, or it will say off, and it will display it accordingly. That way, it doesn't matter, if it's on here, so the red light's on, it says on the status bar. Now, let's say I walk out of the room or whatever, and I don't want to use my app to turn it off. I hit the button and it still says off. So this is actually controlling the status of the relay. The MQQT is just saying, hey, it's off. So if you were
It's reported.
right,
Yeah, it's just
if you were 100 miles away from your home and you wanted to see if your garage door was closed, you could look at the status and go, well, yeah, it looks like it's closed, or you could use your camera. But it gives you an indication of whether or not that light's turned on or that garage door's down. I think oh, that's the other thing. I just killed it. Watch what happens with the dashboard. It takes it a few seconds, but watch. Well, don't make me a liar. Come on.
Has a timeout, then the messages?
It actually's got a MQTT has a protocol or
No devices.
a device thing called Last Will and Testament. So you publish to it before you even start, and you tell it to hold that message until it can't find this device anymore. And as soon as you do, so if your power failed at the house or something, you could even tell, well, that device is completely offline because it's not showing up on the dashboard anymore. You could pass that around if you want.
or you let them fiddle with it.
Well, they can't really do anything. There's no power.
No, it's dead.
But if they want to fiddle with it, they can fiddle with it.
Uh-oh, no devices to display.
Yep. That's because it's dead.
You unplugged it from the power.
I unplugged it from the power.
This is part of the MQTT protocol?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it
or
actually-
you program the timeout or
No, it's actually part of the protocol. Version 3.1.
every several seconds they check that all are connected?
Yeah, because when you saw how long it took
Yeah.
for it to realize it,
2 minutes, a minute and a half.
it wasn't even that long.
Oh,
It was probably 30 seconds, 45
It only
seconds.
seemed like a minute. It's-
It takes it a little while to realize that device isn't there, but yeah, once it realizes it, but only if you tell it to. Like if you don't set the Last Will and Testament up to start with,
Okay.
it'll always think that it's there. So
So that was, if it sees the power going off, but if you put that last will, it'll
yeah. My guess, I would just have to guess. I'm not sure because I don't own one. But I would think that that's very similar to that S on off
Oh,
device.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sawn-off thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not any cheaper.
Yeah.
It probably still costs about $6 to make
Yeah.
that. So.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah, those.
But my guess is it would be very close to that, and that's really what I've got this time. Crouton, they've got a number of different what they call cards. The power button is a card. The message message thing is a card. They've got a number of different ones that you can set up. Some of them work better than others, and I don't see the documentation on this page. There it is. I need to cast this tab.
Can you show your JSON file that you're using?
I can. Would you like to see my JSON file that I'm using?
Okay.
Let's see if we can make that bigger. Bigger, bigger. There's. That sets up the device info, which is the first two cards that first appear. I put this together without using a JSON library or anything. It just seemed like it was easier to do it that way. And then when I actually go and publish down here, I did the same thing just because it seemed like it was easier. If I was going to get into really complicated JSON stuff, I probably would end up using the JSON library. Just
No, you might still end up doing the same way you do it.
I don't know. I like that JSON library.
No, it's nice, it's just less hassle. That's kinda how it is.
For this, it really seemed like overkill for something simple like this. But if I was getting more complicated, if I was actually getting complicated data back from the thing, because that button, every time you hit it on the website, it just sends value true. Who cares? You don't need to decode that. You just need to know that it sent something. So, because the value is always true. If somebody clicks that button, it always sends true. It never sends false. It never sends anything else. It just always sends true.
Because you're not doing any decoding.
Right.
So, whereas, if you had a web service,
Yeah.
you do whatever you want. You
Right.
Code to decode it.
Well, that button was only set up to send truths. So there is a RGB switch which actually sends red, green, blue values. There's another switch that sends on or offs. So for those you'd need to decode the JSON, but for what I was doing, you don't need to decode the JSON.
And in a way, it's good that what you're doing works. When you're trying to do custom stuff,
Right.
It's hard to do it with a device like that. You have to first test it with some kind of, I forget what they call these things, but there's these clients
Yeah.
that come in the browser, so you can send whatever you want to get it to work.
That was
RESTful client.
RESTful client. Yeah. Well, this isn't really a RESTful device thing either. It's so those you probably can see right here. This is the topics, and a little bit further down, we published to one more topic, which I was going to move up to the top, but I forgot to, which is the last will and testament, which is this one right here. That line right there publishes to the last will and testament, so that it knows that
Power's off.
it's not there. I was going to move that up to the top too and forgot to. So. But basically, if it drops connection to the broker, once it reestablishes, it resends its thing, and every I've just got it counting right now, which is probably not the best way to do it, but I've just got it counting. But every time it gets to a count of 5,000, it sends all the device info again. That way you could use any client you want.
It's not to report to my sub phone.
Yeah.
It's account.
Yeah,
It's account, send message.
5,000 is pretty fast. I probably needed to either do 10,000 or 15,000, but
I do 15 minutes, so it's a lot of counts.
yeah. But that's pretty much it.
So, in this code, if you chose to send it to several clients, you could do that, because you're not locked into.
Broadcast to several.
Yeah.
I can send it to several topics.
Yeah.
You're only as far as I know, you can only connect to one broker.
How would the brokers know?
The brokers don't talk to each other. So once you pick a broker, that's the broker that you're going to use.
Okay, but.
You can make a bridge.
You had defined what the broker was.
Right.
Okay. Are you not allowed to define multiple brokers?
I don't think you can.
You can run 2 clients in your device.
Yeah, I guess you could
and
run 2
access
clients.
2 brokers and pass the messages.
I don't know why you ever would. But.
Redundancy, maybe.
It's like, yeah, one goes down.
But yeah, I guess you'd have to start 2 clients up. I don't know how much extra overhead that would take either.
Maybe you have a limitation in number of clients and you use two IDs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Use
because
two services free.
that's what I wouldn't know how much overhead that connecting one extra client would take.
It'd be interesting.
It might be. That might be something just fun to play with, just to see if it can be done. But it's really simple code. MQTT, I was scared of it for years and years and years, and then I just did it, and all of a sudden I went, oh, why was I afraid of this thing? This was super
It's
super
like
simple.
a constant thing, you know, it's like, it's just terrifying until it works.
Until it works.
What next?
I was pretty much scared of Jason until I used it the first time too. I was like, but that was years ago.
Let's not do it
No,
again.
this is adapter to PS2.
It's on, you know, it's almost
From
like,
USB to PS2 is adapter.
it's not
adapter.
picking.
He'll tell it from the whole class, stop.
Text, you send it in the right format, still works.
That's what I got.
Okay?
Anybody else?
By Sente?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
We get time, no, good time. I have
Any
something
time?
that is not finished, but I just wanna talk about it.
Okay, well, let's let Vicente do his,
Okay.
and then we'll have open topics.
Last week
Good job.
I showed the
Excellent.
basic computer. Okay, this thing began because I was playing with the Arduino, trying to generate NTSC signals for a TV. Simple lines and big characters. And then found this a web page in Japan. A guy that is using the basic compiler made in C, in an ARM chip, using an ARM chip to run a tiny basic. It's a basic in the Palo Alto basic from the 70s. Almost all the computers from the 80s, all the home computers use these derivatives from BASIC. All the game computers, dozens of computers in Japan, dozens of computers in Europe. A lot of computers almost all use the same language BASIC as an operating system. BASIC, you can load test files, play music, play games, and was the first simple operating systems. Actually, Bill Gates write the BASIC of the Altair as the first interface for this home computer, right? But I was playing with this, trying to compile this files from the Japanese side. Everything is in Japanese, everything. I am using Google all the time, copying and paste and retrieving all the information, but now it's working. It's very nice because the base of all the computer is this board that costs $1.70, including shipping from China. Okay, it's an ARM processor, 32 bits, 72 megahertz, 20K of RAM, 74K of flash for programming. Okay, and has a lot of room to run the BASIC, to run the signal, the video signal generation, and to scan the keyboard, to read the PS2 keyboard, and also have size in the flash to save 8 programs. You type your programs and save like files, right? Also, are included drivers for TFT displays connected to this board. Also, is running the drivers for the SD card to connect an SD card and save files and load files. Has 10K bytes of RAM dedicated to the graphic display. It's very, very nice. Okay. I bring a cable. This is my Chromecast, wired Chromecast for this machine. Also, it's running the drivers for the SD card. I made another video connector to try to put the screen in the.
Wait. Oh.
I want to see what this is seeing.
You can switch.
It's sideways.
Too careful. Okay, I just want to see it so I can focus, adjust the focus. Is this the focus ring?
Yeah. It's way out of focus right now.
Okay. If I could see it here.
It should be coming.
Okay, but it's delayed so far.
It's very delayed.
That's why I want to
Yeah.
see what's happening now. Okay.
There it is. But it's still very, very delayed.
You're probably better off looking over there.
Yeah. All I want to do is set the focus. Okay.
Really
So
bad.
we got. That's better. Okay. 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 So there's the sweet spot. We got a way of putting text up there. Oh.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. All sideways, but it looks. I can read the text.
Well, the text, the Automation Technology Club is way too large. Can you read the fine print?
It's probably not a good advertisement.
Someone's at home watching this now.
These people really, the technology people I would have followed.
Brought up the fact we're
Sounds
probably
like they're
entertaining a lot of
drinking too
Chinese.
Can we put some text on the screen? What do you, or text up there? How do we do that? Turn the camera at something here.
Here. There's text.
There's some good text.
That's not the right camera. But
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, okay. So which, okay, it's like that. And like that.
there we
And
go. I don't
now I
think you
can't see it on the screen because it's such a small piece of the screen. Okay,
Yeah, there's your sweet spot right there.
is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, what kind of resolution are we getting out of that?
You're gonna need bigger text to really see it. That you can do, yeah. That size will do work. That's readable.
Is it readable?
That's size. That's text size is readable.
It's pretty good.
It's clipping the corners, but
That's true. We just fix it and use the pivoting, as long as we don't disable the pivoting function of the camera. Okay. Okay, we do have to. Okay. Okay. And a little closer in, maybe, to make it as big as we can possibly get it.
you're already clipping the sides of the view here.
Flipping the sides, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
had
can't
the right spot because it wasn't really
Okay.
clipping.
Okay.
Nice custom camera mount.
Back
Okay.
up, a little bit more.
That's one of the
and
projects.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, that's about as good as you're gonna get.
Can we read it? Can you read that if it's on the full screen?
Yeah, I
think
can
you
read that.
Yeah, definitely can.
Cool.
It,
Well, now we
I've
got-
I've seen better, I've seen worse, but
So we got the focus, we can tape the focus or not focus it.
put a drop of super glue on
Where
there.
is that back in there?
Don't
Oh,
change anything.
okay. So back to you.
Try to
Meanwhile,
put
back
this,
to the
the
ranch.
video input in the
Video input. Okay, so we're going source. We're going source. We're going DVI. We're going.
this is,
That's it.
okay. This is the name of the Japanese guy for your shipping.
Yeah, now see that? I can't see that. There's too much glare from the light.
Oh, okay.
Everything is written in Arduino environment and programmed using Arduino. Okay.
There we
I have eight programs saved files. The first program I made is very short. Is to check what's the code of each key in the keyboard, because originally they were using the Japanese standard keyboard. It's
Ah.
almost the same, but several parentheses and several keys
Different.
disappear. And
Yeah.
it was very confused. But then I found that there are commands to change the keyboard for the US keyboard, and now it's working great. This is you are seeing the graphic screen, and there is a test area in the RAM of in this screen appears 1,000 characters, 37 for 27. It's like 999 characters. Well, let's see what the programs do. The first is let's load the first program. Say load 0. Okay. It's a very simple program.
I think it said load 9 or something.
Okay, let me see. It's a program to check the keyboard. Can run and say A, B, C, D, caps.
Cool.
This is the first is in the ASCII character, then is the decimal number, the hexadecimal number, and the last one is the decimal number. This is a simple.
That white screen, there's a lot of just glare anyway. It's not working real well.
Yeah.
There's like,
This program, let's see, is program number 1 is LED blinking. You can control all the I/O of the microcontroller. Actually, you can use analog write. You have the PWM control of a lot of pins, but the Arduino works at 400 something hertz. The PWM, right? You can go up to 32,000 hertz. You can increase a lot the frequency of the PWM, and you can produce sound with very high quality sound, high quality. It's a word, okay? You can execute this round. Is the LED in
yep, I see it.
the board? You see? In the camera.
I can see it in the camera. Yep.
This was a program to check the I/O. Let's see another program, the number 3. This is the number 1. Number 2. Okay, this is the 1,000 counter. Okay. You can put the number in different sizes. Okay. This is the characters in the flash, in the ROM.
Okay.
And there is a function called bitmap, and you go there and you can put the characters in different sizes, or any bitmap in different sizes. For example, let's see this program. There is the bitmap function here. Each character is 24 pixels apart. I will duplicate this 48 pixels
okay.
apart. And this is the size. By 4, I will put here by 8, for example, okay?
Oh,
I duplicate the size of the character, okay? How fast is this? Well, I put a delay here of a wait of 100 milliseconds. We can reduce this to 1, for example, around. This is it's an interpreter, okay? And
little.
plus it's 1 millisecond delay.
It's a lot faster than the old
Yeah,
basic computers.
it's not a CDA80
Yeah.
at 2 megahertz. It's an ARM processor, 72 megahertz. But usually the computers from the 80s, the basic was written in assembler.
Right.
The interpreter, okay, this is written in C.
Right.
It can run in any machine, right? You need a speed to, but it's a lot faster than the machines of the 80s. Okay, let's check the files. We see the 1000 counter. Now you saw the random circles. We can review it again. This is number 3. Low, number 3. It's very short program.
Make some circles.
Random circles.
Tiny bubbles.
You can change anything in the program. You can change, this is the radius, this one. Let's put double radio. And the last, this number, okay, is white, and this is, you want the circle filled or empty.
Oh.
You put one here, let's see.
Oh.
This happened because you are out of the graphic memory. He's not checking that you are out for some reason.
Oh, what did you do?
That's
You blew its world,
He-
it couldn't handle it.
okay. Random circles. Now this is the number 4 is an example of some. Okay. It's the several tones that reminds the Imperial March from Star Wars. Like
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
No, that's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah.
okay,
Wrong
Get my
movie.
themes mixed up.
the last 3 ones I was working for today in this last one. The number 5, I have a potentiometer connected to the pin A0, an analog A0. Let's load the number 5. Okay, I am reading the pin PA0. We can move here, okay, like a mouse. The PA0 pin and the analog digital converter produce from 0 to 4095 values, and I am mapping those values between 0 and 36, that are the number of characters in a line, okay, to use the line as the representation of the value. Okay, I move the potentiometer.
Ah. Could almost turn that into a game.
There is a delay of
Yeah, Minesweeper.
there is a delay of 200 milliseconds.
Searching for Klingons or whatever.
Okay, this is using text. The next example is using graphics. Okay, very simple. Load number 6. This is using graphic. The pixel set, the function, this function, pixel set. The y is a number I am increasing. It's better to call it EX. It's more natural, okay? Well, doesn't matter for the sample, but it's the X axle, okay? Run.
I see it. There's a
Okay,
little.
let me clear the screen. Run. Okay, this is putting pixels.
Okay.
The best way is to write lines between the last sample and the new one. bright lines, and the graphic will be more continuous. You know?
Cool.
That is kinda neat.
Okay. I bought a Japanese board that is made with another microcontroller without the graphic capacity, but they are using it for the kids, to teach kids programming. I'm not sure how useful is to use this kind of approach instead of using a computer, maybe because the price is cheaper. Each student can have the board, but they made experiments with conductivity to identify in a plant, for example, if there is enough humidity, and they see the graphics using characters, and the kids put water in the pot and see the graphics moving, you know. But at kids of 5 years, 7 years, it's interesting. The last thing is a travel 20 years back from the 80s. I was doing this in the last moment. Okay, this is a terminal, is a punch card reader. Okay, it's the way to put the programs 20 years before this.
1979, I was in
Yeah.
my first class.
This is the absolutely simple thing. Okay, I use several pieces of wood, some paper clips, and this is the card. The holes from the bottom are the clock, and here the holes in the second line are the data, the bits. Okay. Ideally, you can move this way, and will come go into the computer. Let's check if it works. You have to connect the ground. I need my glasses. You put the ground in the aluminum foil, okay, and the clips go through the paper and touch the aluminum.
Okay.
Connected to ground.
That would be worth a YouTube video.
I'm impressed.
Quite.
Yeah.
Huh?
Did you just have a chance to work before?
Oh, that's, yeah.
That's
Hanging
Chad.
Chad.
Never knew what a hanging Chad was until then. Now I can't forget.
Well, actually, I learned my first programming courses was in Fortran using puncher cards.
Yeah, it's mine, 1979 or 80.
You bring your software in a window, and the next day you have the paper, the listing.
And if
of
you
the
get your
results.
job control card out of line, it won't run. So you have to, God, it was a pain.
If you
Syntax
drop-
error.
if you drop the deck.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like, putting a jigsaw puzzle back together.
The hard part is the connection.
People would have shoe boxes full of cards, you know, load them in.
So far.
you see that, Jim?
With 2 hours for it to
The
come.
Logitech
Yeah, they would have.
scene way back here
program
can see
on the
just
Oxford.
fine on the
phone lines
screen.
would be
Looks
wet,
good,
so
yeah.
They go worse.
It's the
You know.
it's that weird contrast with the black and the white.
Do they have the software where you can adjust it? No. For the Logitech, you can adjust
God,
it.
that, when you think about what it's
I don't
done
have
in the last
software.
30 years, it's amazing. It is amazing.
This is number 7. This keyboard costs $7 in Micro Center. That works.
Yeah.
They sell it as a USB, but I was needing a PS2, but it works as PS2 with the adapter, no problem. This is the program. It's Very simple one is waiting for the car and checking the clock. And each time the clock goes from 0 ground to 1, read the bit up, okay? You can see the clock is displaced from the bits half size, okay? When the clock is changing, the bit is stable, and you read 1 or 0. Okay, supposedly this will work. To your
Very
screen.
ingenious even if it doesn't work.
Mhm.
It's fun to watch.
Yes.
Okay, run. Now it's working. It's running. This is an A. You see the bits? And
Yeah.
an H. An E, and lowercase e.
You went a little crazy, didn't you? Making a card reader.
This is for fun, all right? This is an L.
So is your reader reading optically or with contacts?
It's a paper clip touching the aluminum foil, and the paper is separating the clip from the foil. In the pass. It's very simple. It's fun.
Now you need another L and an O. Hello.
You need an O. There is an O here. Okay,
We should have known.
let's start this again. Okay. Hello.
It's like secret code with
I
kids,
know,
you
that's what it feels like. It's
Like a ring
okay.
decoder.
Yeah.
Get,
As long as they're in the right order.
And in the right direction. If you turn that card around and face it the other direction, what will it
all
mean?
is dead or something.
You have the bits.
It'd be
There'll
back.
be another.
Another character.
There is hello, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Back what was
It reads
Zero.
all zeros.
because every
Yeah.
the clock when it goes up, there is nothing.
Okay.
There is always a 0.
Because it's offset
see.
the wrong direction.
So basically it's
You have to run it.
that would tell you if you've got it running through the machine right or not. Get nothing but zeros.
Error.
Error.
That's right.
Well, it's 1 byte at a time, but it's a concept, right?
That's kind of neat.
It is kinda neat.
That's kind of neat.
Join the world. Cool.
That's one of those.
But this can be. I planning to after control everything and some corrections to make a small board, right? With all the connectors. You don't need all this wire. Any of them. Those switches are the jumpers in the board for programming, for too easy. Instead of moving the jumper, I'm moving the switches. The reset button is already in the board. You don't need anything, almost anything of this. The connectors, you only need to solve the RCA connector and use a USB type B. What's the female of the USB in the board also to connect a standard keyboard, and everything will works. Maybe useful for fun.
Yeah, for fun. Heck, yeah.
The security matter is great. Very secure.
Security is paramount.
No problem with internet.
If you got physical security, you're good with this.
He lives on an island, he's,
Anyone want to try something to remember how was how to try to scan the
remember having my TI board that I bought at Radio
That's those
Shack, 'cause
act.
they were going at for $99 and sitting there with a tape recorder hooked up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back in
Hey.
1970,
Releasing like
probably 80.
they're releasing a new
78,
version of
79,
Fortran this
yeah.
year.
Those TI boards, they want on scale.
I had CRSS, CRS 80 Model 1.
Does it,
You need a keyboard, this is a DVD player, I found in the basement.
Then you realize I still got the 3, but it doesn't work.
You can use a TV, you can use I would try to use a smartphone. I bought for $4 the video capture for the USB.
So I never opened it up to try to go in.
And maybe you can connect the RCA to
I kept the box.
this small connector and use any phone to see the screen.
Oh, I know, that's the thing, but I can't, that's one something I can't.
It's a good machine to go to Starbucks, aside of a guy with a very powerful Apple machine. Hi, working.
My kids wrote program.
What's that,
You like to try?
well, what's that mount you put it on? Is that like,
And
is
it
that
went to
something you
bed
kind of
before
carved out
carpenter.
yourself? Or
Yes.
is that like a carpenter too?
No, it's a piece of wood to
Oh,
put all
okay.
together and for experimenting. You don't need nothing like this.
That's pretty neat.
the files, they're saved in memory, right?
It's an organizing the cables.
Keeps everything nice and neat.
The files saved on an SD card, or are they in
the
memory?
flash, in the flash.
In flash?
But in the SD card, you can save 500 more programs in the, and you can also use an EEPROM chip. Also is supported by the software. Support 3 kind of TFT displays from Adafruit, different drivers.
Okay.
You can use a small.
So you can put TFT
Yeah.
display on it and
you
have
can
it,
use your tiny OLED display.
and have it portable, so you can carry it
completely,
around.
Yes.
See, that would be cool.
I
Carry
bought-
around
I
a pocket
bought-
basic.
I bought in eBay a chatpad keyboard from Xbox.
Yeah,
I am planning to connect this.
I've got one.
Chatpad.
I've got one of those keyboards somewhere.
You can use it also.
Can you show us how you would look at what is on the micro SD?
Well, there are commands to do that. I am not using them, but there is in the Japanese manual appear how to write to the SD.
He
how to
doesn't
write
have
to
SD
E-
connected.
Oh, okay.
See you later.
I am translating everything,
Can't get past it.
but slowly.
Okay, so it would be similar to the list command that you're using now.
Yes,
You would be
but
to a
it's different. It's like
device.
I don't know, it's S file or it's a letter, additional letter, and the same commands to specify that you are working in the SD card. The good thing is that you can use your computer to copy programs in the SD card and put in the machine.
So
without
your
typing.
link to the internet is the micro SD card.
Yes, exactly. You can also connect this to an ESP8266 and send strings and connect to internet
Connect it like
using AT commands.
AT commands, yeah. Old school.
You have a serial port. You have several commands. You can control ultrasonic sensors. You have the ping command of Arduino. And all the Arduino libraries you can use.
That's neat. Neat.
It's just for fun.
God.
You can write to the memory using pick and poke. Remember these commands?
Yes.
You can write to any address. You can write to the video RAM and turn on any pixel you want using pick and poke.
Oh my God.
You think of that stuff.
Painful days.
Think of that stuff.
Oh my God.
Remember it, and we're old.
Oh
Getting
my
old.
God, it's like the graphics, you like pixel.
That's
Counting pixels.
Like I said earlier, for people who weren't here pre-meeting, Jeremy's talking about a locksmith club, type of club.
Oh, right.
You wanna say anything?
Jeremy forgot.
I got absorbed.
We'll probably have him do a demo in here, one time when we have, time. Frank had something.
Without 'em open, you know.
Yeah, Frank
Yeah.
ran off.
Frank,
I have
Frank's
hundred
like me,
of
he's in the
ideas
bathroom.
what to do with this, but are funny things also. Everything is funny. One nice argument of the Japanese people that is promoting this for the kids is that they explain to the kids that this is a robot. It's like a robot that you send commands, doesn't have wheels or arms, but it's exactly like a robot. You tell it what to do. Open, turn on, turn off, move, and they made the brain of the board, the CPU that save all the program. It's a version with a connector. You move the CPU from the console and connect in the robot. Okay, and execute the program. You can configure this system when start up to run any program you want automatically. Turn on and will be running a program. Doing that, you can move the brain of the board that is in like a piggyback in this computer and put in your robot, and the robot will behave as you program it.
And it's for $2, you know.
Yeah, well, it's,
You can't buy a box of pencils for that.
of course, I am biased by the thing that is like a basic computer from the 80s, you know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but try it.
No, I just wanted to look physically at what it looked like.
So what kind of monitor is that?
This is a DVD player. The auxiliary video in. I put two RCA ports, one for the making TV, and one for the DVR. It's the same thing, two resistors.
Yeah, he cannibalized it and made his own little, what, DVD or CD? It was a DVD
I
player.
keep
wasn't
forgetting
it?
to do that, cause I keep having to, when I use the top rate thing, like, I keep having.
Yeah, he just
I
Any-
gotta
Anyone
hook
like
it up
that,
to, and it's
when
too
I
big, so-
made the final
Yeah.
board,
Yeah.
I
I
can
need to get
make,
myself a smaller
I can make several, you want.
I keep forgetting to
Just
do it.
this
It's like,
thing you can
Look
buy.
at
That's totally unnecessary.
Hello, world, hello.
Drag it up next to me.
This is the way
You
that
like
the
it?
universe began,
Huh?
2.73, 2.73, 2.73.
But 15 years ago, those were big deals, weren't they? Those little.
That's a little slow. Let's see, 15, wait.
Save it from the landfill or recycle.
I remember,
It is.
basic is just awesome.
Next thing I used to try with my kids.
You're ingenious with the eraser.
Circle. First draw a circle.
Oh, it's because the cable was moving.
Yeah.
Yes,
Then we try to
but I
circle
never
it
thought about the
like a
eraser.
circle.
Yeah.
Across the screen.
Oh, like that.
His basic brain's coming back.
Yes.
I can't
So-
think of anything good to do.
Retrieving.
There were people who used to do phenomenal stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They'd have rain, you know,
Yeah.
make it look like rain, in the background and have something else.
Oh, no.
Just
All
hit
nice.
No, you could,
It's, yeah. You gonna talk about the 10%? Oh, okay.
we can load some of the demos for this camera, see if we can get in on this, see what kind of resolution we can get. That's a small screen there.
Here.
Hello. It's focus close, so.
No.
That's the trouble, we need a close on a farm. That would be good over there. And by the way, you can download the drivers and the software for that.
It's not for Linux.
Oh,
It's
no.
built in.
That's pretty
We should be running Windows.
This is really simple. Like,
Look how it
Something
works.
else you have to watch out. Typically use this thing a lot.
That's ingenious too.
yeah, it doesn't have that many parts at all.
It's acting like switches. Are you using like an interrupt to read those?
Excuse me?
Oh, it's just.
Interrupt to read it, or
No, no,
just
just spending the time waiting
Probe
for the change.
wicks up there, yeah.
The pull-ups are-
Yeah.
Well,
You have it above the board,
Right, right,
but,
Ah,
they can get there, yeah.
I forgot to say that the code for my little demo thing's on the automation technology GitHub. I forgot to say that. You know, somebody might want that code for some weird
You
reason.
should have put a link to it in
I
the
did.
meeting announcement.
I did.
There's a link to it in the meeting announcements for the code.
I will make a,
That's how you get the
tape, tape reader.
Yeah.
The same thing, but it's a piece of cardboard.
Yeah. Can peel off
Next
a
time,
bunch of,
I show you. I
like
already have.
pulling a
the
ripcord on a
wood- the wood
lawnmower.
Stuff is already done, but
Got that on his front door. Yeah.
Okay, Frank, did you have something you wanted to bring up?
yeah,
Short one?
okay, sure. I could do it long, but it was gonna be short. All right, Leroy probably remembers, as a matter of fact, I think he had recommended this, Adafruit soundboard. Now I got this thing, it works with some problems. I'm not gonna talk about that, it does work. You see if I can, without projecting anything. What I wanna do is, I wanna take a Wemos D1, and I wanna interface that with this board. And I know how to connect the Wemos D1 to the internet. And I wanna send commands to it to play files that are stored on the SD card from the internet. And what I haven't figured out how to do, what I haven't thought it through, is how to sync the Wemos D1 with this board. I could just have him scanning and look for a bit or something like that, but there might be better ways of doing it. Another problem that I have is, while this thing it plays the music in the background, so theoretically it can still do other work, except that doesn't quite work
It
as
doesn't quite
advertised.
work,
When I
yeah.
say stop, it may never stop. And it's taking these interrupts, so it should stop, so I have a problem there, I'm probably gonna have to figure it out. But mainly what I need to do is be able to synchronize this Windows D1 that's gonna connect to the internet with this. And the reason that I need to use this one is because this board works with this one. And it's one of those hassle things again. I can figure out how to use it with a Wemos that already has Wi-Fi on it, but that's not how it's set up. So you have to go in there and mess with libraries, and this thing works, just like it works here. So, ideas.
So, are you using are you thinking of using the Wemos as something just for,
Just to connect to the internet.
so you need to run the AT firmware on it and just connect it to the Arduino with serial connection, RX and TX. And then you can use the Arduino would actually be the controller, and the Wemos would just connect to the internet.
Yeah. So you're saying use it with RX TX.
Yeah.
So is there any kind of
AT firmware.
AT firmware?
Yeah.
I'm sort of afraid of that.
I know. It should work just fine though, especially now that you're used to how the how the D1s work.
when I use the D1,
You don't
I
need to,
don't use the 18.
no, no. But originally, remember, we had the ESP 01s,
Yes,
and
It's
you
a bad
hated
memory.
those.
yes.
The AT firmware will work the same way on the D1, only it would be easier to do it, because the D1 is easier to use.
18 RSTX.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay, so explain to me, when you say syncing to the, when you say syncing, what does that actually mean? When you say you gotta sync to the,
I need to have the Arduino recognize that it has messages coming in.
Okay.
Because it could be playing a tone. If you're doing a
Oh,
short,
okay,
short
okay.
tone, it doesn't matter. But you can actually play, you know, you can have it use like one of these music systems that plays 10 songs. Because the SD card, you know, can store the stuff. So you want to be able to
It's for you.
tell it stuff while it's working.
so what you're concerned about is, sort of, you heard of threading, right?
Look at some,
I know it's supposed to work, except it doesn't work.
Wait, what is?
It's, you know, using interrupts, it's supposed to be able to continue to play this voice.
it is
and
large
execute
enough
and
for a red card.
continue to play the music.
Pretty neat
And
red
then it
card.
can still take input in.
Alright, now.
Well, the first thing is I hadn't thought of this RSTX as a way to communicate with it. My first thought was, I'll just have some bits and, you know, I scan those bits and record them. So they
just use it like a serial device. It basically is a serial device, just.
Anybody have anything for
It
next
should,
week's
it should be,
project?
it should be easy.
Projects for next week?
Anything.
Well, you can put this one down long term, but I had this alerter circuit, which means that from the internet, I can make decisions. Let's say my sump pump is bad, and, you know, I have this thing at my sister's house, and I wanna tell it to tell my sister that my sump pump is bad. So,
So if
it's
you're
gonna
out
be
of
like
town, your
that.
sister can go over it.
Should be able to do it anywhere, so something like the broadcast that he was talking about, use the
Yeah,
broadcast.
just give her a dashboard to your house.
Y'all want trash can transport for next week? Is that
Oh.
what y'all
Yeah,
want?
we can do that.
Have you
I
guys
can
played
do,
with Fritzy?
Fritzing?
Yeah.
A
No.
little.
Little?
I'd have to put it
Yeah.
on a board,
You play with
bring it in.
anybody else? Anybody?
I can
I'm
do my
playing with
Over
right
time,
now.
you get a lot of interesting
I had
walks on
made,
that
I had
trash
made a
can
few
transport.
fritzing for
Okay.
some of our projects, but I've kinda gotten out of the habit of doing it.
Yeah, I've sort of just opened it up.
Especially when a lot of mine lately have just been plug,
You wanna do a
plug.
lock thing next week? Yeah, sure. Okay.
We don't got anything else.
Alright, we'll do, trash can transport if I got anything, and, hey,
I'm looking forward to it.
looking forward to it. Anybody else have anything they wanna do next week? Small stuff?
Yeah, I'm
You wanna do
open,
more
I'm
on this
open to
next week?
ideas if anybody
We
has
wait
an
maybe 2
idea.
weeks.
We haven't done the trash can transport in a while, have we?
Yeah, that's pretty boring, cause I do little pieces.
Yeah, and then you have brain sessions and it morphs, you know, it has a
Do
life.
you know something that I haven't got back to that, something I thought about? If you think about if you had a video, you got the driveway, you got the video, and actually the path is plotted in the video.